Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be doing system test 19, and as you can see I have voice evacuation once again. Let's get started. As you probably just saw, we do have voice evacuation this month. We have Gentex speaker strobes as our theme, so you can see we have a bunch of these floor mount speaker strobes mounted everywhere. These are really funny looking. I always thought these were kind of weird when I was a kid, but I guess they do work. You can see this one is mounted on a red back box. I think it looks pretty nice. These are really thin speaker strobes, so you really don't need a back box extender to mount them, which is always appreciated. I have a Firelight BG10. This one's rebranded by Johnson Controls, which is interesting. It also has a red back box, not the perfect one, but that's all right. In the fire panel room, we have the same thing as usual. SFP 10UD, voice evacuation driver. Here we have a Firelight BG10. This is just a standard BG10. Nothing really special about it. Conventional screw reset. Up here I have another floor mount speaker strobe. If we go into the fire museum, our previous fire museum, we have a Gentex speaker strobe. It's ceiling mount and a little bit newer, and it's rebranded by Hochiki. And then I have a Hochiki smoke detector right next to it. This one is rebranded by Napco, but it is manufactured by Hochiki. I think this actually looks like a pretty legit setup you could see in a real building. Then if we go into the bathroom, we have a Gentex Commander 3 strobe. Pretty much matches the rest of the system. Over by the sliding exit door, we have a Notifier NBG10. This right here is the same as what's in the other room, except it's just Notifier branded. So that's that. And then finally, if we go to the last speaker strobe in the basement, we have another floor mount speaker strobe. This time I have it on a white back box. I thought that would just look kind of slick, and it actually looks pretty good. So that's that. And then of course for smoke detectors, I have an i3, and then over here I still have the 2100 and the carbon monoxide speaker strobe as usual. Out in the garage we have some blocked stuff, but we have a Firelight BG12L, BG10L. I can't talk. All right, in the garage we have a bit of an obstruction, but we have a Firelight BG10L. This was a BG10LX. I converted it by cutting off the module. Up here I have a Gentex floor mount speaker strobe, exact same variant that you've seen in the basement, and then of course the annunciator. Test the GFCI. It works. Without further ado, we can go ahead and activate the system. So 3, 2, 1. Guess I didn't select the version of that tone with the message, so that's unfortunate, but I went ahead and selected the correct tone this time, so let's go ahead and reset and try that again. Alright, now let's go ahead and pull the other station. This one is actually pretty annoying to pull. I'm not sure why. I think it needs a little bit of grease or something. It's like, it takes a lot.
May I have your attention, please? A fire has been reported in the building. A fire has been reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Do not use the elevators. Please proceed to the stairways. Do not use the elevators. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? A fire has been reported in the building. A fire in the building.
Let's take a look at the outdoor devices. I don't think you can really see them. Oh, you can kind of see it, yeah.
Have your attention, please. A fire.
Can go ahead and reset this pull station. This is one of the annoying ones with the hex head, like I said, so can't just use a nice easy key. Then I tighten this all the way again, making sure to tighten it so tight that I break the housing. That is a joke, by the way, don't do that. This pull station takes so much effort to pull sometimes that, like, one time I pulled it and it just came off the wall because, as you know, I have command strips holding this on. Not ideal. I might actually use anchors or just screw it into a stud at some point. You can see we have audible silence, as usual. I've gone ahead and set the system to a different tone now. This time I have it on the EVAX tone, which I think is sort of a classic thing for Gentex speaker strobes. So I'm gonna wait for this smoke to activate. There it goes.
Attention, please. There has been a report of an emergency. Proceed calmly to the nearest exit and leave the building immediately. Do not use the elevators. Use stairwells where necessary. All handicapped occupants shall use the building evacuation plan.
I also hear notifier messages with Gentex speaker strobes pretty often, so I set the system to play a notifier message now.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? A fire has been reported in the building. A fire has been reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Do not use the elevators. May I have your
This pull station is super easy to reset because I never really cinch down the screw. I basically just twist the screw with my fingers, and then that's enough, and then you just turn it back again. That's plenty. All right. I've set the system to play a different notifier tone and message now, and this is actually my favorite tone because, you know, it's the Massachusetts specific. As you may or may not know, Massachusetts requires a code 3 temporal tone to play through voice evac systems for the most part, and this is the notifier temporal tone that is usually used.
May I have your attention, please?
It's very
May I
similar
have
to
your
the
attention,
simplex
please?
low frequency
There
tone.
has been a fire alarm reported in the building. There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Do not use the elevators without your seat. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building.
I don't know if that's the Massachusetts specific message. I think that's just how I downloaded it, but I think that's pretty neat. I'm not really a fan of the way that message is worded. They're like, a fire alarm has been reported in the building. Like, I suppose it gets the message across because people understand what that means, but like, it's not necessarily like a fire alarm has not been reported in the building. Like, a fire alarm is always in the building. So I suppose, I mean, there's better ways to say it. You could say like a fire emergency has been reported in the building. Whatever, that's fine. Cool tone though. Let's go ahead and I don't know if I reset the pull station in the garage, but I'm gonna reset and take a gamble. And if it goes back into alarm, then I will know that I did not reset that. Yeah, I didn't reset that. All right, there's a bunch of stuff in the way, so I kind of have to reach. You can see here's the inside. This used to be a BG10LX, like I said. All right, that's that. Let's go down and do a functional test. But first, I think I'm gonna do the outside portion of the system. Oh my goodness, it is a horrible day outside because it's hot. All right, let's just start with the deck pull station. It's flashing. You probably just can't see it on camera because it's, you know, the sun is doing its job. Oh my. That is annoying. So you can see this one maybe a little bit better because it's shaded. And then what I usually like to do, as you know, is go into the shed and then go in here and then activate this pull station as well. So I can see them both register on the panel. So I have to find the right key, which is probably this one. It is. Can actually hear the system. Oh my goodness, I've been outside for like 2 minutes and I'm already sweating my balls off.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please?
No. Alright, anyways. So pull station, deck, and shed. So they both work, you know, as expected. Let's go ahead and reset. Let's get the fancy nail on a stick out so we can go and test this detector right here. Unfortunately, well, I guess this is kind of fortunate. There's so many different messages and tones I could do with this system that I guess I kind of have to change it every time. Now we have Firelight ECC.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? The signal you have just heard indicates a report of a fire in this building.
Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. Do not re-enter the building
unless directed.
All right. I don't love that message. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem very nice, but that's all right. Next, we'll test the i3. I have the message as the same, and the tone is just a little different.
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? The signal you have just heard indicates a report of a fire in...
You got the gist of that. I'm not sure where that tone is really from. I don't really know what that would be really used for because it seems to have very odd spacing. But I guess it is cool. I don't know if that's Massachusetts specific or not. I feel like that might be a little bit too weird. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, that's that. Let's go ahead and reset. All right, this is the last detector on the system, I think, before I do my functional test. And just to be extremely confusing, I've set this system to play the Massachusetts-specific EST tone. Reason being, there's actually a high school in my area, specifically Westboro High School. They have an EST3 system with EST devices and everything, except their notification appliances are these exact speaker strobes, which is funky. I think they were probably just the cheapest speaker strobes at the time, but let's go ahead and activate this. Stick it in the hole. I'm not sure if it's just the way that tone is or if it's just me being used to that tone, but out of all of the tones on like a fire alarm system, that is the only tone that actually gets my attention. Like when I hear that tone, I actually like I don't know, sort of startling. I guess it's because that's the tone that's been in my middle school and high school, so I'm very used to that as the actual fire alarm tone. But I guess it is also a good tone. I'm not sure why, but that particular pitch just kind of gets your attention extremely well. But that's that. That is my favorite tone. Let's reset and we'll do our functional test because that's what we're all about here. Let's test this emergency light. This thing is actually cool. I'm gonna get sidetracked here. This is a weird looking emergency light. The lenses are kind of flat, but it actually does a really good job of lighting things up. All right, anyways, this is not an emergency lighting video. Let's reset the system and use the fog machine. Lots of fog everywhere. Look at that. Well, that does do it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Farewell.